Imagine this. You wake up, your feet hit the floor, and literally the very first thing you see is a bold, undeniable blueprint of the life you've always wanted. Today, we're pulling those deep desires out of your head, where, let's be honest, they usually just fade like old photographs, and we're forging them into physical reality. This explainer is a fast-paced, highly dynamic journey through the 7-step vision board playbook. We're going to move step by step through the preparation, execution, and daily maintenance required to build a highly active, fluid visual engine for your future. Look at this massive data point. Your subconscious mind processes images 60,000 times faster than text. I mean, that tells us right out of the gate that a proper vision board isn't some weekend arts and crafts project. It is deliberate, psychological warfare against doubt and distraction. Think about it. When you're passively scrolling social media, you're just feeding your brain completely random imagery. Instead, we are going to harness that incredible processing speed and give your brain a precise, turn-by-turn visual GPS. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. 1. The subconscious command center. 2. Blueprint and trigger images. 3. Organizing and assembling. 4. Strategic placement. And 5. Activation and maintenance. Starting with Section 1, the subconscious command center. First things first, we absolutely need to separate this concept from passive background decoration. A vision board is an active tool. It is your intention made visible, constantly broadcasting specific commands to your brain. And the core mechanism making this all work is subconscious priming. You see, the subconscious doesn't operate on hope. It is a literal image processing machine, and it absolutely cannot execute an empty abstract concept like be successful or find happiness. It demands sensory data. When you just feed it vague wishes, it just spins its wheels. We need to feed it exact, recognizable targets so it knows exactly what to lock onto. So we have to systematically dismantle a huge myth right here, which is putting overly specific, micromanaged goals on your board. You actually need a target vision, which acts as your psychological GPS, rather than a specific goal, which is more like restrictive turn-by-turn directions. We apply the Goldilocks rule here. Saying I want to look good is way too vague, but saying weigh exactly 150 pounds by June 1st is way too specific. Because if you hit 152 pounds but you look and feel amazing, your brain still registers that as a failure. The Goldilocks zone is something like a fit, strong, and energetic body. It gives you that clear direction without totally restricting the path your subconscious can take to get you there. Moving into Section 2, Blueprint and Trigger Images. All right, we're in the preparation phase, and this is where the magic is really drafted. Step 1 is forging your vision blueprint. That means getting crystal clear on those Goldilocks zone statements for every single category of your life. Wealth, health, relationships, the whole shebang. Step 2 is the translation phase. This is where we take those high-level concepts and hunt down the physical, visual cues that are going to act as psychological anchors for your brain. Let's walk through exactly how this translation works. Let's say your category is wealth, and your vision statement is achieve financial freedom. You don't just pin up a picture of a random pile of cash. You find a highly specific trigger image. Maybe it's a printout of the specific high-value stock ticker you want to own, or the interior dashboard of a very specific luxury car. It needs to evoke an immediate, powerful feeling in your gut. If your career vision is to be a recognized leader, well, your trigger might be a mock-up of your own face on the cover of your industry's top trade journal. Section 3, Organizing and Assembling. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it highlights the biggest trap people fall into: visual overload. If you take all those incredible trigger images we just talked about and slop them onto a board totally chaotically, your brain just sees a mess. It requires way too much cognitive energy to decode a wealth target when it's sitting directly on top of a relationship quote and a fitness picture. When you force the brain to decipher chaos, it experiences cognitive resistance and, frankly, just dismisses the entire board as background noise. To prevent that static, we use strict theme zoning. You group all your health images into one identity cluster and all your career images into another. But pay super close attention to this concept of dedicated negative space. You absolutely must leave completely empty, blank space between your clusters. Think of it exactly like a paragraph break in a book. It's a visual cue that signals to your brain that one command cluster has completely ended and a new one is beginning. And as you physically assemble this, you have to design for visual primacy. This is governed by the law of centrality and the primacy of size. Your brain literally interprets size and location as a measure of priority. So, if your overarching life identity is shoved into the bottom left corner next to a pushpin, your brain assumes it's a low priority. The most critical, absolutely crucial command must be the largest image, and your primary life identity belongs dead center on that board. Which brings us to Section 4, Strategic Placement, taking it off the desk and into reality. So we've built this incredible engine. Now it is time to integrate it into your physical environment. Step 5 dictates that poor placement will turn your board into an ignored souvenir. If it's hiding behind a door you never close or, covered by a pile of laundry, your subconscious receives zero programming. Strategic placement guarantees high-frequency passive interception. You literally need to put it where it will intercept your gaze multiple times a day during routine, non-stressful activities. So the crucial point here is that a physical board completely bypasses the digital chaos of our modern world. A digital board on your phone or your desktop, that requires activation energy. You actually have to click to see it. And the moment you do, you're bombarded with emails and app notifications. A physical board provides a permanent, tactile, dedicated sensory input that grounds you without inviting any of that distraction. And this brilliantly illustrates the category alignment rule. Basically, where you place the board must conceptually match what is actually on it. If your board is completely dominated by career and wealth targets, place it in your home office so it intercepts your gaze when you're hitting that afternoon decision fatigue. You definitely wouldn't want to put a high-stress career board in your bedroom, right? That's a relaxation space. If your goals are health and relationships, the bedroom or dressing area is absolutely perfect for morning and evening identity priming. Section 5. Activation and maintenance. Keeping the canvas dynamic. Let's move to and see how this builds into the final phase. How do we prevent habituation and ensure this board evolves as rapidly as you do? Look, the board is not a magic wand. Its true power unlocks only through these last 2 steps: strict, daily active rituals and mandatory, scheduled audits. Because without these, your brain is just going to habituate to the board within a few weeks and filter it out entirely, just like wallpaper. Here is your daily ritual playbook. You stand in direct proximity to the board for a fixed 2 to 5 minutes in a totally undisturbed environment. But the real secret sauce here is action linkage. You don't just stare at it, sigh, and walk away. You finish that intense 3-minute session by identifying one small, highly specific action you will take today related to that vision. This is what perfectly translates the what of your target vision into the how of your actual daily routine. And step 7 is your periodic review. Because honestly, a static board is dangerous. If you achieve a goal and just leave the image sitting on the board, it creates a psychological ceiling effect. Your brain registers that you've hit the finish line, which completely kills your ambition. You must conduct a removal ceremony for achieved goals. Literally ripping that old image off the board creates the necessary psychological void to load a new, higher-level ambition right into your command center. Ultimately, the source material drives home this absolutely core philosophy. A vision board is not a substitute for action. It is a tool to align with it. This isn't about just sitting around wishing for success. It is a highly dynamic compass designed to filter your daily decisions, cut right through the noise, and keep you relentlessly on track toward your target identity. Which leaves us with this final critical question to ponder. What if your dreams were no longer just wishes floating around in your head, but a physical, structured command center that you actively stepped into every single day? You have the playbook now. It's time to build your blueprint. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. See you next time.